A group of agents working on spiritual matters received an anonymous tip. Acting on it, they raided a hidden location and found an altar with your photos, hair, old bones, and your name written in dark ink. One of those objects contained your DNA, which is why a spiritual investigation is now underway. There's no stopping what's happening because what they did to you was recorded in the books of divine judgment. And today, the sentence is being carried out. You went on with your life, but you spent many nights crying in silence. People you trusted betrayed you, broke you down emotionally, and then acted as if nothing had happened. They wished the worst for you, mocked you, and celebrated your pain. But what they didn't know is that you were protected. Archangel Michael was swinging his sword over your name like a guardian in the midst of a spiritual war. While you slept, your angels fought for your soul, for your destiny, and for everything that is rightfully yours. And now listen closely. Those people, the same ones who harmed you, are about to face justice, not just for what they did to you, but for all the harm they have been causing for a long time. It wasn't a coincidence. They used your energy in rituals, buried things with your name on them, and tried to alter your path. But the universe has already marked them. Evidence is coming to light. A lost cell phone, an accidentally recorded conversation, a forged signature that exposes everything. The entire scheme they built to harm you is now backfiring on them like a poorly cast spell. And now they're nervous, because they know that what they sowed, they will reap and they will pay, even with jail time. Archangel Gabriel is speaking into your spiritual ear right now. Write in the comments that the divine judgment has begun. Declare it with force, as if your words were on fire, because that activates your connection to spiritual truth. And if you feel this message is for you, show you've received it with a like. This way, the angels will know you're in sync and will reinforce your celestial shield. Get ready, because what I'm about to reveal changes everything. One of those who will soon go to prison not only betrayed you, but also used your name in a forbidden ritual. And now their mind is breaking. They are having dark visions. They hear your voice in the early morning hours. They talk to themselves. They have nightmares that make them tremble. You haven't lifted a single finger, because spiritual justice has already begun to act on its own. At first, you doubted. Something inside you resisted believing that someone so close could do something like that to you. But the angels warned you. They sent you signs in dreams, through uncomfortable silences, evasive glances, and strange feelings. Everything was slowly showing you the truth. And now, there's no turning back. The person who will be judged is not a stranger. They are of your own blood. It's someone who watched you grow up, who hugged you, who sat at the table with you, but inside, they envied you. That envy grew like poison in their soul, fed by old wounds that never healed. This person, blinded by resentment, became obsessed with your light. They wanted to have your power, your strength, your destiny. In their obsession, they tried to open their third eye, thinking it would allow them to manipulate your life and interfere with your path. But they did it wrong. They did it without respect, without love, without guidance. And they knocked on doors that were sealed for a reason. They used sacred symbols with dirty energy and mixed dark intentions with spiritual practices they didn't understand. They opened a portal, yes, but not to the light to chaos. From that day on, they began to hear strange voices, see shadows in mirrors, and lose control of their mind and body. They tried to undo what they had done, but it was too late. Their third eye became an open wound, a wound that bleeds every time they try to harm someone else. And every lie they tell, every time they speak your name with malice, that wound burns like spiritual fire. But that wasn't the worst of it. In their desperation, this person sought help from a cemetery sorcerer. They took a piece of your clothing, buried it in damp, rotten earth. They performed a binding ritual with blood. They used your name to block your paths, to obstruct your blessings, to steal what was destined to be yours. They thought no one would ever know. They thought that by doing it in darkness, everything would remain hidden. But the universe extends beyond the physical. Spiritual eyes are everywhere, and what is done in secret is paid for in the open. A group of spiritual agents received an anonymous tip. They raided a hidden place, and what they found was shocking. An altar with your photos, hair, old bones, and your name written in dark ink. There were objects with your DNA. It was clear you had been targeted in a black magic working. And now, not only is there a spiritual cleansing in process, but there is also an energetic and legal investigation. Because this isn't just witchcraft. This is conspiracy, premeditated harm, identity manipulation, and a serious spiritual crime. And the sentence is clear: prison. The universe has already delivered its verdict, but there's more. When that person was confronted, they couldn't hold it together. The spiritual forces began to press from within. They started to stutter, to sweat, to look around as if seeing things no one else could. The presence of the truth made them fall apart. Their mask fell in seconds. They began to say nonsensical phrases, to repeat your name, to talk about shadows chasing them. And right there, in that moment, those present knew they were already being judged by a higher law. Their excuses no longer matter. They can no longer escape. What they tried to invoke to destroy you is now haunting them. The judgment is no longer just earthly. It's cosmic. Everything they wove in secret with malice is collapsing on their own head. Their days of manipulation are over. Because you are not alone. You never were. Archangel Michael and your angels were always fighting for you. Even when you didn't know what was happening, they were already acting. Everything you lost, everything that was taken from you, will be returned to you with divine multiplication. The portal that has opened for you is one of restoration. You no longer have to fear. The pain you suffered was real, but its purpose was to prepare you for this awakening. And if you've read this far, it's because your soul already sensed it. This story belongs to you. What is happening is part of your liberation. Write it down. I accept my divine protection. Nothing and no one can touch what is mine by destiny. Do it with faith, with strength, with confidence, because from today everything changes. What once seemed lost will begin to return with the power of light. What happened that night was something no one in that place had ever witnessed. The lights went out, the air turned icy cold, and a dense shadow covered the altar for a few seconds. The sorcerer, in a trance, began to bleed from the nose. His eyes rolled back, and his body contorted as if something invisible were crushing him. The entity they tried to summon not only rejected the offering, but returned the energy with overwhelming force. The altar exploded in a shower of sparks and smoke, and many of those present ran out, their faces twisted in fear. It was then they understood they had messed with a force they didn't comprehend. And you, without knowing it, were defended by a spiritual army that never sleeps, never rests, and acts on divine command to ensure nothing touches you. But the story doesn't end there, because what was triggered by that failed attempt not only awakened your protectors, but also activated a cycle of exposure. Since that night, the people involved in that network have begun to suffer visible consequences. One lost their voice for no medical reason. Another had a strange accident, leaving spiritual symbols marked on their skin. Yet another began to hear voices calling them by your name. The spiritual agents received new leads and discovered that the cursed object mentioned before, a small, cross-shaped figure carved from old bone, was given as a gift to someone in your circle. That person, unaware of what they were carrying, brought it into their home. Since then, they began to have nightmares, feel exhausted, experience health problems, and fight with everyone. The object was designed to absorb your energy if it ever touched you. But since it didn't, it began to punish the one who kept it. That's why you need to be alert now. If you see any old, heavy object in your surroundings with strange symbols, crooked lines, or that makes you feel uneasy just by looking at it, don't ignore it. If you ever received a gift you didn't ask for, something that seemed odd or simply out of place, it could be that very object. Do not touch it with your bare hands. Use gloves, place it in a black bag, and take it to a river or a place with pure nature. As you leave it, say these words aloud. What does not belong to me returns to its origin. What was not mine is dissolved in light. Nothing that does not come from God can remain in my life. Afterward, light a white candle in your home and pray with strength. Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel will come to seal your home with spiritual fire, and nothing dark will be able to stay. Remember that not all attacks come with screams and drama. Some arrive disguised as kindness, closeness, and trust. The person who gave you that cursed object was manipulated. They didn't do it on their own. They were used as a channel. Therefore, don't feel hatred, feel clarity. The divine judgment is already acting with precision, and you don't need to take revenge on anyone because spiritual justice is doing its job. What was attempted against you not only failed but served as a catalyst to uncover an entire network of energetic manipulation, identity theft, fraud, and pacts. Now, more than 5 people are under direct spiritual investigation, and 2 of them are already facing severe physical consequences. The time of revelation has come. The masks are falling. The darkness can no longer hide under the appearance of affection. You, who so many times wondered why life seemed so unfair, why certain doors wouldn't open, now have the answer. They were using your light, blocking your paths to feed on what was meant for you. But no more. The seals are broken. The ties are cut. The channel of your destiny is being cleansed and open like a river that sweeps away everything in its path. You are about to receive a blessing that has been held back for months, maybe years. And it will come with such force that it will not only lift you up, but also return what was stolen from you. And listen to this last part with an open heart. The spiritual judgment being executed cannot be reversed. Even if they ask for forgiveness, even if they cry, even if they try to fix it with excuses, the process has already begun. Every act they committed with your name is being judged by divine law, and you will be a witness to how everything is put in order. Not for revenge, but for your complete liberation. Because your soul needs peace, and that peace only comes when justice is served. Your angels are with you. Archangel Michael is at the forefront of your defense, and what is coming is light, truth, and restoration. Don't doubt, don't fear, don't look back. Your name is already cleansed, your destiny is secure, and the best is just beginning. That cell phone, which at first seemed like just another object, turned out to be the Pandora's box that exposed all the darkness. Inside were voice notes with malicious laughter, planned mockery, and offensive phrases directed at you by name. But not only that, there were also records of rituals videos where coded words were spoken, circles with symbols drawn, and black candles lit while your face appeared in the center. All of it was stored without their knowledge, as if the universe was already preparing the evidence before they could even think of defending themselves. One of those videos has already been sent to a spiritual and legal authority that works in parallel, and there are movements underway to open a case for aggravated energetic harm. This isn't simple gossip. It's a conspiracy being exposed step by step. The cameras that accidentally recorded the rituals, the messages they thought were deleted, The falsified documents, everything is being reassembled, like a divine puzzle to show the complete truth. The most shocking part is that many of them have already started to feel the effects. There's one who can't speak without stuttering, another who suffered an inexplicable fall and has nightmares every night. Another was hospitalized after seeing a shadow in the mirror that relentlessly pursued him. And the person who started it, the one who secretly signed the pact that sought to bring you down, is beginning to lose control of their mind. They forget basic things, repeat nonsensical phrases, and every time they hear your name, their body reacts as if something is piercing them. And you know why? Because your truth cannot be touched. Because your energy is surrounded by layers of light that cannot be forged or broken with cheap witchcraft. The angels have declared your case as protected. This means that any attempt to repeat the attack is immediately reversed. That's how strong the protection is that revolves around you. Archangel Michael has raised his sword in your name. Archangel Gabriel has begun to speak in the dreams of the righteous. And even Archangel Raphael is intervening to heal the emotional wounds all of this left you with. Because yes, you were betrayed. Yes, you were unjustly exposed. But you were also chosen to receive this public redemption. The universe is going to expose every single one of those who try to bring you down, not as punishment, but as a lesson for those who think they can. Play with others' energy without paying the consequences. And here's a detail you can't overlook. There is a woman in that group who pretends to be on your side. She keeps smiling at you, sending you sweet messages, asking how you are. That she was the one who gave up your name in one of the rituals. She did it to protect someone else, someone you would never suspect. She justified it as a minor sacrifice, as if surrendering you was part of a deal to protect herself and her partner. But the universe doesn't accept excuses. The universe takes notes, and what is written in the sacred records will soon be revealed. You yourself will feel in your body that this connection is breaking. You'll notice her evasive gaze, her strange tone, her heavy energy, and then you will understand that her loyalty was false. The most grotesque part is about to come to light. Someone closer to you than you can imagine helped prepare a ceremony, where your name was read aloud along with words, wishing for your ruin. They called it a cleansing act, but it was a disguised attempt to get you out of the way. That person even used something you gave them with love, a letter, a photo, a small object that meant a lot to you. They placed it among dark candles and surrounded it with salt. That ceremony was recorded, and that video is no longer only in their hands. The one who leaked it is remorseful. He says that since he participated, he hasn't had any peace. That he has been visited by shadows in the middle of the night, that he hears your voice calling him in dreams, asking him to tell the truth. And he did. He confessed everything. That testimony is already circulating through spiritual channels. People who didn't even know your story have started receiving visions, dreams, and inexplicable urges to write about justice, about betrayal, about a light that cannot be extinguished. Because you are not alone. Because the energy of a righteous person is not extinguished by lies. On the contrary, when it's unjustly attacked, it burns even brighter, and that's what's happening with you. Your energy field is growing. Doors are opening. Righteous people who didn't know you are starting to appear in your life, incarnated angels, protectors sent to help you rebuild what they tried to destroy. The final revelation is this. One of those who planned everything is about to be arrested, not for spiritual reasons, but for legal ones. And when that happens, their only option will be to confess everything. They are already considering it. They said it in a low voice. If I go down, everyone goes down. And I'm going to tell what really happened. That moment will be key. It will be the instant the truth is unleashed like a bolt of lightning. the moment everything they did against you comes to light. And when that happens, you will feel it. A shiver down your spine, a sense of relief, a deep peace, because your soul will know that justice has arrived, that the channel of blessings is no longer blocked, and that what is coming for you is so great that even the darkest past cannot overshadow it. Write in the comments if this resonates with you. Declare, "My name is untouchable, my truth is invincible," and reinforce your spiritual shield. Because although they tried everything to see you fall, they couldn't. Because you are standing, and the best is just beginning. What that woman didn't understand, what none of them understood, is that you didn't shine because of what you had, but because of who you were. Your light didn't come from external adornments or social positions, but from a pure, powerful, and ancestral connection to the divine source. They tried to imitate you, to copy your words, your movements, your energy, but they couldn't because yours is real. It can't be bought, stolen, or imitated. And that's why, when you walked away, when you let go of that toxic relationship, everything fell apart for them. He became an empty shell. She, a desperate parasite. And both, without knowing it, began to sink into a swamp of darkness created by their own hands. The figure dressed in white that now appears in their room is not just any ghost. It's the soul of a woman who was also used, who was also betrayed by him, by her, by that same dark circle. A woman who loved truly, who gave without expecting anything in return, and who was discarded as if she were worthless. Her soul did not rest. It was trapped between planes, and now it has returned, not for revenge, but for justice. Because when a just cause is awakened in the spiritual plane, the witnesses of the past are summoned, and she is here to remind all those who mocked sincere love, kindness, and a noble soul that there is a price to pay. And that price is now being collected. That lover, the woman who acted like the queen of everything, is now losing control. She feels like something is following her. She has started sleeping with the lights on. She has stopped taking care of her appearance. She has started talking to herself. She says things like, "She knows. She sees me. I can't take it anymore." And with each passing day, her reflection changes. The mirrors no longer show her the image she wants. Sometimes, when she looks at herself, she sees your face, hears your voice, hears your laughter, because her mind is being devoured by what she invoked. She played with fire, thinking it was cold embers, and now the fire is consuming her from within. And while that happens, while they fall apart one by one, you are being restored. Your paths are beginning to open. People who once closed doors to you are now coming back with proposals. Unexpected calls, messages that seemed lost, money that had been blocked, it all begins to return because your soul is being freed. Not out of pity, but by right, by destiny, because what is yours can never be destroyed, only delayed. And that delay ended today. Archangel Michael has signed your decree of advancement. Archangel Gabriel has engraved the truth in fire in the eternal records. And Archangel Raphael is already cleansing the wounds this caused you. Not just physical, but spiritual and emotional. There's more. The dreams you had were not a coincidence. That vision where you were surrounded by fire, but didn't burn. That scene where you fell into an abyss and then flew. That moment where you saw those who betrayed you behind bars. All of those were prophetic messages. Images of the judgment that is now underway. You already knew it. Your soul felt it. You just needed confirmation. And here it is, one of the men in the group, who previously seemed neutral, recorded the key conversation. Not out of compassion, but out of fear. He knew they were going too far, That it was no longer just witchcraft but crimes, forgeries, and harm to third parties. He was afraid of ending up in jail, and that's why he recorded it. And that audio is already in the hands of those who need it. When it comes to light, no defense will save them. It doesn't matter how many lawyers they hire, what story they invent. The truth has evidence, dates, voices, and confessions. And you, who were mocked, betrayed, and used as a shield, will receive justice in this lifetime. Because the universe has so decreed. Because there are things that cannot be hidden forever. And your truth, silenced for so long, now rises like a cry in the heavens. It is time for you to declare yourself free, to say out loud, I am the light that does not go out, the name that is not stained, the truth that does not bend. Write it, if it resonates with you. Write it as a seal, as a decree, as a cry of rebirth. Because when you do, when you say it without fear, you activate a legion of protection so strong that no witchcraft, no pact, no slander can touch you. Don't be surprised if in the coming days you start dreaming of opening doors, of people smiling at you, of new paths appearing. It is your soul celebrating liberation. It is your spirit preparing for what is to come. Because something big is coming, a proposal, a sign, an opportunity that will change your course. Something that was blocked by those energies that tried to bind you, but now flows toward you without obstacles. And the most beautiful part is this: when it arrives, it will not come alone. It will come with peace, with healing, with abundance. Because the universe doesn't just want to give you back what they stole. It wants to multiply it for you. Because you were not a victim, you were chosen. Because where others fell, you continued. Where others lied, you resisted. Where others were stained, you cleansed your path with tears. And now that path shines because it is yours. Because it is made of truth. Because it was written with celestial fire. So if any of this resonates with you, don't ignore it. This message arrived because your soul asked for it. Because your angels want you to know that justice is no longer a promise. It is the present. It is happening now. And what is coming is only the beginning of your great rebirth. You, who were not born to crawl in the shadows, but to fly above them, have been the target of attacks by those who never understood your true strength. They didn't know you were protected by a divine seal, that your soul belongs to the army of light chosen. For this generation, you were not just anyone. You were marked before you were born, prepared to face battles that not everyone survives. And although they try to take everything from you, even your identity, all they managed to do was awaken your true power. Because when one of the 144,000 marked souls is touched with malice, the entire universe responds. The heavens are activated. And that is exactly what is happening now. That woman thought she could play with your essence, that stealing an object of yours and using it in a ritual would be enough to silence your light. She didn't understand that the object was an extension of your soul, and that any energy that wasn't clean would reject it. And so it happened. The ritual spun out of her control. Screams were heard during the ceremony. The candles went out abruptly, and one of the attendees fell to the ground convulsing. Then, everything that touched that object began to rot. The flowers on the altar withered instantly. The black candles dripped red wax as if they were bleeding, and the walls of the place filled with mold without explanation. No one wanted to talk about it. They silenced it. They buried everything. But the object remained cursed, and was later found at a scene related to a violent act. Someone else was injured, and the police found the object alongside symbols of witchcraft and traces of your name. The case, although under seal, has already escalated. It is no longer just a spiritual matter. It is now a criminal investigation. But do not fear. You are not the culprit. You are the key. You are the spiritual witness who will unmask every one of them. And you will not do it with words, but with the truth that lives in your energy field. Every time you say, "I am light guided by heaven," another barrier breaks, a veil falls, and a door opens. Because that phrase is not just a decree. It's an energetic password that activates divine intervention in your favor. Archangel Michael is moving his armies. Archangel Gabriel is revealing secrets hidden for years. And Archangel Raphael has already begun to heal the damage this war has caused you. Many wonder, why you? Why so many attacks? The answer is simple. Because what you carry is valuable. Because within you, there is a connection to higher planes that others do not comprehend. And that light is bothersome. That purity is irritating. That spiritual strength awakens the dormant envy in empty souls. That is why they attacked you. That is why they used your name, your face, your story. They wanted to destroy you, to take what was not theirs, that the universe did not allow it. Because there comes a moment when divine justice no longer waits. It acts. And that moment has arrived. That woman, that being contaminated by greed and malice, thought she could manipulate everything, that she could use her body as a bargaining chip, her tongue as a dagger, her laughter as a disguise. But now, she is paying. Her health is deteriorating. Her mind is clouded. She has panic attacks for no apparent reason. She no longer sleeps without pills. She no longer looks in the mirror without seeing shadows. And although she denies it, she knows. She was wrong. She knows she awakened something she cannot control. And you just watch, not out of pride, not out of resentment, but because you learned that the best revenge is the truth, that you don't need to get your hands dirty when the universe has a memory. And now you are seeing it. Every word spoken against you is falling like a stone on their own heads. And there is still more. In the coming days, a clear sign will come to you. It could be a call, a seemingly impossible coincidence, a message that shakes you to your core. And when it arrives, you will know that the time to collect what is yours has begun. Everything they took from you, everything they delayed, everything they blocked is coming back, but not the same. It returns multiplied. It returns blessed, because you did not go through this test in vain. Because every tear you shed was collected by heaven. And now those tears are turning into seeds of blessings. What is about to come for you is so great that it will frighten those who underestimated you. They will think it's luck, a coincidence. But you will know it's justice. It's a reward. It's fulfillment. And when you live it, when you look in the mirror and see the peace that finally resides within you, you will understand why your soul chose to go through all of this. Because only those who walk through fire can wear the crown of transformation. And you, old soul, you did it. So decree with faith. What was done to me is reversed upon them with divine justice. I am light guided by heaven. Write it, feel it, celebrate it, and give this a like, if your soul feels this message was written for you. Because it was. Because it's no coincidence that you are reading this now. Because this is not the end. It is the beginning of your true story. The story where you, the chosen, the protected, the invincible, rise with all your light to claim what by destiny already belongs to you. And no one, absolutely no one, will be able to stop you. That photograph you had given up for lost is not just any picture. It's an object charged with energy, a sacred memory, a fragment of your history that held one of your purest vibrations. That image was taken at a moment of transformation in your life, when you were undergoing a silent rebirth, when your angels began to mark your path with signs that only you understood. That's why having it in their hands was an act of spiritual violation, An intrusion into your soul. In the letter, she not only shows it but also threatens to use it as a key to open dark portals, as if she could still summon chaos, as if the universe owed her something. But what that trapped mind doesn't comprehend is that the time for Pax is over, that the last door she thought she could knock on is now sealed by the fire of Archangel Michael, and that you are no longer the same. Because you are not the helpless victim who cried in the darkness. You are not the broken person they thought they had destroyed. Now you are restored light, living strength, a witness to a justice that does not stop. What they broke in you has become wings. What they tried to steal from you has become a shield. And while she writes desperately from a cell that feels smaller every day, you are being elevated. You felt the change. You know it. You are receiving messages, synchronicities, impulses that are moving you towards something new. It's evidence that the wheel of destiny has turned. The energy that once sustained her now revolves in your favor. The most powerful part comes now. That photo disappeared from your house on a night you had a strange dream. Remember? You dreamt of a woman dressed in black crossing a threshold and leaving with something in her hands. It wasn't just a dream. It was a warning. It was the exact scene of the moment your energy was stolen. They didn't just take the image. They also tried to extract a part of your essence. And that's why, since then, you began to feel weaker, more tired, more vulnerable without explanation. But today, everything is revealed to you. Today, you know the truth. And the simple act of knowing it, of naming it, of decreeing it, breaks the spell. That energy that was stolen from you is already returning. And when it returns completely, you will be surprised by what you can do. Because you are about to enter a stage where your spiritual power will be so visible that many will not be able to look at you without feeling something shake within them. And listen to this carefully. The prison is not the only thing enveloping her. She is also being pursued by what she invoked. There are nights when she screams, when she wakes up drenched in sweat, saying that someone is sitting on her, someone preventing her from moving, speaking, or breathing. The doctors find no explanation. They talk about stress, psychosis, but you know the truth. It's not her mind. It's her soul. She is being charged for every word spoken against you, for every attempt to break what the universe sealed in your favor. And most impressively, the witness she shares a cell with has already started talking. And her testimony is being taken very seriously. Because not only does she remember what you did for her, that she has also started to remember what she heard, what she saw, what she knew of the plans against you. This woman has asked to speak with someone from the spiritual plane. She says she has had visions, that she dreams of a presence telling her that everything that has befallen the traitor is because of you, that you are one of the chosen, that there is a prophecy being fulfilled through your story. The prison staff is confused. They don't understand how this inmate now seems to be turning into a channel.